राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा। Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare। Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare। Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare। Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva. श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की, श्री प्रहलाद नरसिंहदेव भगवान की, श्री काई गौर सुंदर की, पतित पावन प्रभुपाद की। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। Starting from Gantra Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter number 26, entitled as King Puranjana Goes to the Forest to Hunt. Text number 14, Gantra Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Antapura striyo aprichat vimana iva vedisat apiva kusalam rama sesa varinam yathapura. Antapura striyo aprichat vimana iva vedisat apiva kusalam rama sesa varinam yathapura. Antapura striyo aprichat vimana iva vedisat apiva kusalam rama sesa varinam yathapura. Antapura striyo aprichat vimana iva vedisat apiva kusalam rama sesa varinam yathapura. Antapura striyo aprichat vimana iva vedisat apiva kusalam rama sesa varinam yathapura. Antapura striyo aprichat Word for word meaning. Antapura, household. Striya, woman. Aprichat, he asked. Vimana, being very much anxious. Eva, like. Vedisat, O King Parchinabari. Api, whether. Va, your. Kusalam, good fortune. Rama, O you beautiful woman. Sa Iswari Nam, with your mistress. Yatha, as. Pura, before. Translation purport by Srila Ki Jai. At that time, King Puranjana was a little anxious and inquired from the household woman, my dear beautiful woman, are you and your mistress all very happy like before or not? Purport: in this verse, the word Vedisat indicates King Parchinabarhi. When a man becomes refreshed by association with devotees and awakes to Krishna consciousness, he consults the activities of his mind, namely thinking, feeling, and willing, and decides whether he should return to his material activities or stay steady in spiritual consciousness. The word Kusalam refers to that which is auspicious. One can make his home perfectly auspicious when he engages in devotional service to Lord Vishnu. When one is engaged in activities other than Vishnu Bhakti, or in other words, when one is engaged in material activities, he is always filled with anxieties. A sane man should consult his mind, thinking, feeling, and willing processes and decide how these processes should be utilized. If one always thinks of Krishna, feels how to serve him, and wills to execute the orders of Krishna, it should be known that he has taken good instructions from his intelligence, which is called the mother. Although the king was impressed, he nonetheless inquired about his wife. Thus he was consulting, thinking, and willing how he could return to his steady good consciousness. The mind may suggest that by Visaya Bhoga or sense enjoyment one can become happy. But when one becomes advanced in Krishna consciousness, he does not derive happiness from material activities. This is explained in Bhagavad Gita. Visaya vinivartante niraharasya dehina rasvarjam rasoapi asya param dishtva nivartate. The embodied soul may be restricted from sense enjoyment, though the taste for sense object remains, but ceasing such engagements, by experiencing a higher taste, he is fixed in consciousness. One cannot be unattached to the sense object unless he finds better engagement in devotional service. Param dishtva nivartate. One can cease from material activities only when one actually engages in devotional service. Om Tat Sat. Om Ajnanatimmirandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhyate Girim Yatkripa Tamaham Bande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Mishwaram. Bhagavad Gita, copy Bhagavad Gita. So, in Bhagavad Gita, also Krishna is saying that Manmana bhav mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. He's telling that become my devotee, worship me, pay obeisances to me, and this way surely you will return back to me. So uh, to become devotee or Krishna conscious is our goal of life. Generally, we address each other devotee, ourselves devotee. Maybe we join the temple, we say new bhakta. The question was asked by Arjuna to Krishna. He is asking how to know who is your devotee. Mm. Arjuna is asking in 2.54, Arjuna uvacha sthiti pragyaska bhasa samadhisthasya kesava titadhi kim prabhaseta kim asita vrajeta kim. So Arjuna is asking that ka bhasa, so Krishna conscious person, how he speaks, samadhisthasya, saying that how his consciousness, uh, how he speaks, kim asit, how he sit down, vrajet kim, how he walks. Prabhupada is saying that Arjuna said, O Krishna, what are the symptoms of one whose consciousness is thus merged in transcendence? How does he speak? What is his language? How does he sit and how does he walk? A very nice question. Yes, he wants to know how to know who is your devotee. Very nicely, Krishna also in detail he explains this. So here, devotee is called Sthita Pragyasya. Sthita Pragyasya means situated in fixed Krishna consciousness. Here also, Prabhupada is telling that uh, devotees, when a man becomes refreshed by association with devotees and awakes to Krishna consciousness, he consults the activities of his mind, namely thinking, feeling and willing, and decides whether he should return to his material activities or stay study in his spiritual consciousness. So this to remain study in spiritual consciousness is what is sthita prajna. So Krishna is replying the symptom or how to recognize devotee. And how we will recognize the devotee? You're going to railway station, we see somebody has put tilak and kanti mala and he's put dhoti kurta. We see immediately Hare Krishna. We will seeing by seeing his appearance, we recognize him devotee. But the appearance is good to look like devotee, but how to know actually one is devotee? That's what Arjuna is asking. How he speaks, how he sit down, how he walks, how his consciousness is fixed in you. Krishna is replying to this that first thing is telling that uh, Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O Partha, when a man gives up all varieties of desire for sense gratification which arises from mental concoction, and when his mind thus purified finds satisfaction in self alone, then he is said to be in pure transcendental consciousness. So, Prabhupada purport is telling that the foremost important qualities of a devotee is always absorbed in thoughts of Krishna. He is always absorbed in thoughts of Krishna. Then questions may be asked that even Kamsa and Ravana also were always thinking about Krishna, but they are called demons. So therefore, in Nectar of Devotion it is mentioned that uh, ones whose thoughts are always absorbed in Krishna favorably, who is always thinking about Krishna favorably, He is thinking not to kill Krishna, or not to enjoy Krishna. He is thinking to serve Krishna. He is thinking what should I do by which Krishna will be pleased. He is always absorbed in service of Krishna. So first qualification of a devotee, which is foremost, and all other things comes as a corollaries. So first foremost important is he is always absorbed in thoughts of Krishna favorably. And because he is absorbed in thoughts of Krishna always, he is not affected by so many desires which is coming out of mental concoction. Desires for sense gratification which keeps coming in material world. That will, when we go inside the coal mine, we cannot come out without becoming black. If we go inside river, we cannot come out without being wet. And similarly, because here in material world is there and we have material mind, so material desires are there, and it's all produced from mental concoction. The mind three function Prabhupada is telling: thinking, feeling and willing. Thinking, feeling and willing. So for devotee, because he is always absorbed in thought of Krishna, then all these material desires which coming from mental concoction does not affect him. He is not affected by these material desires. He gives them up. He is able to reject them, which are generally very difficult to give up. Some desires is coming, it comes so powerfully that it is very difficult to give up. If we get desire to eat gulab jamun, then we'll keep hankering for gulab jamun. A small example. So it's difficult to give up. So, but devotees, because his thoughts are always absorbed in service of Krishna, he is very easily able to give up all these desires which is coming from mental concoction. So this is the sign of a person who is absorbed in Krishna consciousness. And he is satisfied within himself. He is satisfied, peaceful. This is another characteristics of a devotee, is very peaceful. Because he is satisfied in the service of the Lord. There is nothing more to get. And is already, since he is situated in that stage, he is not hankering for anything. He is very satisfied, very peaceful. Then further Krishna explains the characteristics of a devotee, of his devotees. Like Krishna, you see, Arjuna has asked only one verse, how your devotee, how to recognize him. But Krishna goes on answering this in very detail, because who knows better than Lord about his devotees? So he's saying he's always absorbed, his thoughts are always absorbed in me. He's not. He's giving up all the desires, material desires which come from mental concoction. He's very satisfied in himself. And he further says that dukhesu anudvigna mana, telling that even in misery, time of misery or difficult time, he is not depressed. One who is not disturbed in mind even amidst the threefold miseries. So he is not disturbed even in difficult situations. How a devotee is situated like that? Why he is not distressed? If we get into some small problem, immediately we start saying this is because of him, this happened, that happened, because of my karma, because of my jatakam, or because of vastu dosam. Something we will be saying and we will become frustrated. Correct or not? But devotee is not disturbed in threefold miseries, because devotee is able to see the hands of Lord in all the activities. In everything he is able to see the hands of the Lord. That is meaning of being Krishna conscious. Even a blade of grass does not move without the sanction of the Lord. So who can understand this better than the devotee? So he understands very well that Krishna is involved, and he knows. And Krishna he also he declares this, that yoga kshemam bahamiham. I provide for my devotees what they lack, and I preserve what they have. So Krishna is personally actually involved in the life of devotees. And for everything Krishna is present, therefore things are moving. So this is very well understood by devotee. So he is not disturbed in threefold miseries, because he understands this. Actually, according to my karma, I would have been suffering much more. But by the mercy of the Lord, all this suffering has come in very little quantity. I have to experience this very little. Though I am supposed to be suffering much more according as per my karma. There is a nice story that two men started from a village, same village, and one person was very pious, and another person is very crooked minded and sinful. Both of them started from a village, and they wanted to go to another to city. And on the way there was a forest. So they were going. The first man who was pious, when he was walking, suddenly he hit with a nail, and it was so much painful. And now he has to bear this pain and go to the city. And while some distance they were going, this person who was crooked, he was hit by a stone. And he became very angry, and he further kicked the stone. And then when he kicked, he found there something. Then he became curious, and he started to dig that place. And then as he digged, he found there is a pot. And then he started clearing the sand, and then he took out the pot, and he saw that it is filled with gold coin. He became very happy. So you see the destination. Person who is pious, he is hit by nail and is paining. And person who is crooked, he got a pot with gold coins. So this person who was hit by nail, he became very, very thoughtful. Why this happened to me? So as they were moving on the forest, they found one sage. He found one sage, and he went and asked him, why this happened to me and this happened to that person. Then the sage was able to see the future and past. He said, no, actually, according to your karma, you're supposed to be dying now. But you have lived a very life of piety, so your thing is reduced. Just you got a hit by nail, otherwise somebody would have come and stabbed you. And then why this person got a gold coin? Then he said, actually he's supposed to now become like a king, but because he is lived so much sinful life, his all this piety is reduced, and now he's got only is to satisfied with gold pot. Jagannath Baldev Suddha Maharani ki, Sanitai Gaur Sundar ki jai. So you can see that incident. We can see the lesson is devotees understands the hands of Krishna, and he knows according to my karma I would have been suffering much more, but just a little bit I am getting in only seed thing, small quantity only I am getting. And there may be question that Krishna loves his devotee, why he is giving in a small quantity also? He can completely waver, no. Why he wants his devotee to suffer? Wow, nobody would like to see, nobody would like to see whomever they love to suffer. So why Krishna is doing like this? So what is the answer? No, but when Krishna is involved, why he is not completely waving it off? Actually, because Krishna is loving us, he is not completely waving it off. Otherwise, you would have done so. See, if the children do some mistake, which parent will just leave them? Hmm? Nobody will, no parents will leave them. They will make sure that his child gets lesson. They are not actually concerned. They don't want actually him to suffer. That is that last thing that may happen to them. What is their intention is that he should not do these things again and go in the cycle of suffering. So maybe they just want some punishment to be given so that he gets the lesson and he does not do that. So therefore, according to our karma, we should be suffering much more, but we are suffering very less, and that too because Krishna is very much concerned about ourselves. He just wants us to take this lesson and not again do the same thing. So when devotees they actually suffer, they understand this that I've done some sinful activities in previous life, have forgetting Krishna. I should not continue doing the same thing because of that I am suffering now. So I should not repeat the same thing again and again. While going through the suffering, the devotee realizes this. And when he is realizing this, he is sincerely praying to the Lord, that he should be in good consciousness and should be able to come out of this material world. So he is deeply praying to the Lord, and he is very well understand that this is because of my own karma, and very little sample only I am getting because of Krishna is involved in this. Because of this, he is perfectly understand this. He is not disturbed in difficult situation. Correct or not? When difficult situation comes, it is like we get some deadly disease. We understand this. Because of my karma only I have got this. I would have been suffering much more. But only I have to experience this because I have this tendency of doing sinful activities and will not go easily. And Krishna wants us to know this and get rid of this. And while going through the suffering, he is sincerely praying to the Lord, I have been very sinful. I am a patita, but you are patita pavana. Please extend your mercy and deliver me. So in this way, the devotee is not agitated or disturbed in difficult situation. And then Krishna is telling, Sukhesu vigat ispriha. And when there is a good time, he is not excited. Said that he is elated when there is a happiness. Why? Why devotees are not excited in good time? And Prabhupada is explaining because they understand. Actually, it is not because of me that I have got this success. It's actually because of Krishna I have got this success. It's not because of my karma I have got this success. Krishna is providing me a comfortable situation so that I can smoothly render devotional service. So he understands this is because Krishna is putting me in this comfortable situation so that I can be smoothly render devotional service, not because of my something, karma or something. Actually that is true. See, and when we are staying with parents, and parents they provide everything for their children so that they will study nicely. Correct or not? They are taking care of all the things so that we study nicely. Similarly, Krishna is making sure everything is provided so that we perform devotional service. Not something great karma we have, because of that we are put into this comfortable situation, not like that. And devotees, he understands this and therefore he is not very much excited. He understands this. This being provided to me, this situation, so that I do devotional service nicely. So he is more focused in rendering his service. So what Krishna is saying, the characteristics of a devotee. First place he said, foremost thing is that he is always absorbed in my thoughts. And because of that, he is giving up all the material desires for sense gratification which is coming from mental concoction. And is very satisfied himself. In rendering this service, is very satisfied. He's not disturbed in difficult time and he's not excited in good time. And he's telling that he is free from attachment, fear and anger. Free from attachment, fear and anger. So these are the characteristics. Then he further says that in the material world, who is unaffected by whatever good or evil he may obtain, neither praising it nor despising it. Na binandati, na binandanti, na dvesti. And is fixed in perfect knowledge. Like Srila Prabhupada, in whichever situation he was there, good time or difficult time, always he was rendering his service. His service was not stopped. He never given up the service. He is continuing to do the service. So though he is living in this world, you can easily see he is not part of this world. Therefore, Jivana Mukta. Like a lotus. Lotus is growing in the muddy place, but it is not associated with that muddy place. So like a devotee is, because his thoughts are absorbed in Krishna, he is fixed in his devotional service. He is not affected by good or evil of this material world. These are the Krishna knowing very well how his devotee is pointing it out, that how my devotees are. And Krishna is further telling about his devotees that he is able to withdraw his senses from sense objects. And his analogy is giving, as tortoise draws its limbs within the cell, as tortoise is able to withdraw his limbs, similarly devotees are able to withdraw his senses. Very difficult to withdraw the senses from the sense objects. Immediately if some Visaya is coming, then our senses get locked with that. But for a devotee, he is able to withdraw this. This is a very special quality of devotee. If you in midst of all the glamour of material world, he is able to fix his mind and perform devotional service. So that is the qualification of a devotee. We are still trying to become devotees, so we may not find ourselves like that, but we want to become like that. And then how he is able to do it? It's very difficult to do. How he is able to do it? That's what Prabhupada is quoting here. Visaya vinivartante niraharasya dehina rasvarjam rasu apiyasya param dishtva nivartate. That because he is experiencing a higher taste. The devotee is experiencing higher taste. Why is experiencing higher taste? Why devotee is experiencing higher taste? Yeah, because they are engaged in devotional service. That whatever material taste we get, it is actually very low. It is chapala sukha, very flickering. And actually there is no taste. But we think it is some sort of happiness. But the actual happiness is in devotional service, in that relationship with the Lord, which is always, which is eternal and unlimited. So the devotees, when engaged in devotional service, they experience the higher taste. You know how Prabhupada told hippies, I give you something which is stay high forever. Like that, when we engage in service of the Lord, we actually experience the real nectar. So because devotees, they are already experiencing that mellows in the relationship of the Lord, which is the highest, unlimited. So they are not actually getting affected by any allurement which is coming from sense gratification, able to withdraw themselves. So that is the secret. So that's how we should initially, as a practicing devotee, we have to forcefully do it. We have to forcefully withdraw our senses from sense objects and try to experience the higher taste by engaging in devotional service. So more and more when we try to do, Krishna is telling, by abhyasa and vairagya, by rejecting things which are not favorable and doing things which are favorable. When we keep on doing this, then the bhakti, that higher taste, we start experiencing it. And more when we start higher taste, we are able to keep away ourselves from all this. Hmm? Even amidst of all this alluring situation, he is able to, remain aloof, withdraw his senses. In the material world, he is there, he is not affected by good and evil of this material world. In good situation, he is not excited, and difficult situation, he is not disturbed. He is always thinking of Krishna. He is always thinking of Krishna, is very satisfied, very peaceful. He is giving up all desires for sense gratification. So these are the characteristics Krishna is telling about his devotees. That's how his devotees are. So Prabhupada here is mentioning that word kusalam refers to that which is auspicious. One can make his home perfectly auspicious when he engages in devotional service to Lord Vishnu. When one is engaged in activities other than Vishnu Bhakti, or in other words, when one is engaged in material activities, is always filled with anxieties. This is actually cause of our suffering. What is our cause of suffering? Forgetfulness of Krishna. As soon as we forget of Krishna, then immediately we are put into difficulty, suffering. When we are not able to see the hands of Krishna, how Krishna is involved in this, we are actually worried. So Prabhupada is telling here, a sane man should consult his mind, its thinking, feeling and willing process, and decide how these processes should be utilized. If one always thinks of Krishna, feels how to serve him, and wills to execute the order of Krishna, it should be known that he has taken good instructions from his intelligence, which is called the mother. So this is how mind should be engaged. Mind has got the three functions: thinking, feeling and willing. So with this thinking, feeling and willing, we should think of Krishna. We should feel how to serve Krishna nicely. And we should be determined to follow the instructions of Krishna. That's how the mind should be fixed in Krishna consciousness. And how the mind is fixed? When we take, we hear the good suggestions of intelligence. And intelligence is, buddhi is fixed in Krishna consciousness. Then the mind actually follows the instructions. So this is all possible in this Kali Yuga, when we attempt a devotional service while engaged in chanting the holy name of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Prabhupada is telling that is the best way of thinking about Krishna. to always chant the holy name of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We should chant the holy name of the Lord, and we should engage ourselves. All working, knowledge acquiring senses, we should engage all the senses in service of the Lord. So in this way we will remain studying Krishna consciousness. We will be very happy. And slowly we will become purified, and by mercy of Krishna we will go back to Godhead. We will develop love for Krishna. That's how our life become perfect. This will surely going to happen. We have to just not give it up. Then just continue this process, chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, and being engaged in service of the Lord under the instructions of Guru and Gauranga. Patit Prabhupada ki jai.